Good afternoon, everyone. Happy week 2 of Servant Leadership. I hope you're doing well. This week's assignment is a project, and I just wanted to talk to you about just an individual project, and I wanted to talk to you about it a little bit just so you didn't get confused. So, I have asked you this week for assignment number 2, you're doing a servant leader characteristics analysis. Okay, so if you go to the directions, it's going to tell you first, it's going to talk to you a little bit about what I'm looking for. And it says researchers assert that strong character is critical for effective leadership. Respected leadership consultant Frances Hesselbein contended that the most important preparation for leadership lies in developing personal character. You can learn the rest along the way. And I would definitely agree. This assignment provides you with the opportunity to research and reflect on key characteristics that are engraved in the hearts of effective, keyword, effective servant leaders. There really are no absolutes when it comes to essential virtues that should compose one's character. However, it is helpful for leaders to reflect on what they personally desire to be known for and what is most helpful in maximizing their leadership potential. For example, the faculty members in Concordia School of Education identified the following 4 virtues as being essential: humility, courage, honesty, compassion. For the purpose of this assignment, a 5th virtue can be considered, that being wisdom, which is an essential virtue of focus for Concordia University's mission. And I want you to think about that for a second. I want you to think about humility, courage, honesty, and compassion because that's not easy. It sounds easy when you're thinking about it, but how do you address compassion with a student that has gotten on your last nerve for the day, that has tested you again and again and again and again? How do you find that compassion? How do you find compassion when you're struggling to find compassion? How do you be honest in a way that is not harmful, but makes the point? So those are things that you have to consider. And remember, when we're looking at our leadership qualities, our leadership characteristics, many of the things that make us the strongest servant leaders can also be our weakest link. So we have to consider those things. People always talk about how strong I am, what a strong leader I am. And yes, that has benefited me in more ways than one because I always have the grit to keep going. The flip side of that coin is because I'm strong, I don't always ask for help. Sometimes I keep going at the detriment to my health. So those are things that I have to reflect on as a leader when I'm considering my character analysis. And once again, like I said, our strengths are always our weaknesses as well. Um, I like to talk a lot. I like to present a lot of ideas. I like to be really bubbly. That's too much for some people. And I have to step back and I have to listen and I have to make sure that I am humble and know how to call people in and not just call people out. Because you all know as leaders, when you call people out, then it usually becomes war. I'm not doing this. So, how do I find a way to be honest, to be compassionate, to show humility, to show wisdom, and bring people in? Because being smart is very different from wisdom, and you know it. So things to think about as you're doing this. Okay, so it's going to go into the assignment details, and I'm not going to go into that all here because I want to talk about the templates first. So when you go to the directions, you're going to see a link that says template 1, and you're going to see a link that says template 2. And that's to the University of Alabama like student resource. It's just something we just like the way they have their paper set. And when people present, like in the doctoral program and stuff, when you go to events, sometimes you'll just have that slide. Remember, even though it's like this big on the page, when you put it on the screen, it's gigantic. They'll just have a giant slide and they'll talk from that slide, or they'll set it up like a poster and they'll do it that way, those types of things. So there's template 1 and there's template 2. And you go to the University of Alabama site. Don't be confused. It's just because they have a good structure. Scroll down, you'll see like kids on the page, scroll down past funding to resources, and you'll see poster guide. And that's where you're going to click that template 1 or that template 2. And those titles, you're going to move those titles around or take them off depending on what you write or what you do. Remember, it's just a template. It's just to show you how much we are looking for in an assignment. And if you look at it, you'll notice that there's title, there's room for author, there's the department, there's the name of the professor, and it's just going to be an independent project. So that's not going to be a lot for you to correct. And then, you'll notice at the bottom on the right-hand side that there's references. You've got to make sure you have references on your slide. You have to make sure that it's APA 7 cited correctly, and that the links to your work that you're directing us to is live, meaning that I can click on it and I can immediately check this source that you've provided. And then, of course, where it says graphic elements, you're just going to put your artwork or whatever. So this is a very simplistic template, and it's not set up for a project. It's set up for research. It's just giving you an idea of what it could look like, okay, as you're doing your work. And if you want to use Canva or something like that to create, that's fine. That's fine. But just remember that I'm going to need, don't send me a link to Canva and see like, oh, it's here, Dr. Wood. You have to download it, which you can for free. Download it, PDF it, so that I can see this beautiful slide you're going to make. And so that's about it. I just wanted you to know that this is just a template. The titles on it are not accurate titles for a project. It's for research, but I just wanted you to kind of get an idea of what these templates look like as you move on through the program and capstone and possibly the doctoral program, I hope someday. Okay. So that's what you're going to be doing this week. Let me just close this up. Okay. And hopefully you shouldn't have any problems finding that now that we've gone over it in the video clip. And then your content for week 2, remember that you are looking at the key characteristics of servant leaders, and you're considering transformational versus transactional leadership and servant leader mindset. And if you're a parent, I think you'll find transformational and transactional interesting as well, because that can also affect our parenting style or even relationship styles. You're going to be reading Learning Leadership, chapters 4 through 6. You're going to be reading Connecting Teacher Leadership and Servant Leadership, a synergistic partnership. Goodbye, Transactional Leader. Hello, Transformational Leader. Burns and Bass. And then you're going to listen to John Maxwell Company Executive Leadership Podcast, episode number 172, which is How to Develop a Servant Leader Mindset. So all of that should be done before you even begin your week 2 assignment. And then go ahead and do your look ahead at your respected servant leader interview. If you have not picked the person you're going to interview yet, please do it this week, because you're going to have to schedule, and it's going to get away from you. The time moves fast, especially when we're in the school year. Things just sneak up on you. And make sure with your weekly work, put it in your calendar as a meeting. Put it in your calendar as a commitment. I can't say that enough. I used to do that, and then if people said, "Oh, hey, are you available?" I'd say, "No, I'm in a Zoom meeting." A Zoom meeting, and I would go sit somewhere quietly and read my work and listen to my work and get my work done. Hopefully, at the beginning of the week, so it wasn't pressing me or stressing me out. So make sure you make that commitment to yourself. That's part of your self-care. Making sure you have time to really learn this without being disturbed. There's been a lot of research recently about learning again and reading it and learning it, and then waiting for another period of time and doing another review of it, and then another period of time and reviewing, and we seem to retain it better. So make sure you put some time in there for that, and reach out if you need me for anything. And I hope you're enjoying servant leadership. I'm going to be grading tonight. I'm going to be grading tomorrow, and just glad you're here. And thank you all. Most of you remembered that Thursday night, your initial post for the discussion board needs to be up on or before Thursday night. And please make sure that you answer every discussion board. Do not skip discussion boards. Do not skip discussion boards in week 7 or 8. that's going to end up with an academic warning because it's an integral part of our class conversation because I don't get to be with you in person. So I need to see your brains in there. And have a wonderful work week and know that I'm always thinking of you. And Stella is not always thinking of you, but she's here. Be well. Bye bye.